In this episode, we're going to share some of our favorite moments with the most amazing family in Ecuador. This family learned to crack the code on being rich without any money. Make sure to stick around till the end of this video, where we're going to show you the process of turning cacao into organic chocolate.
After our plant medicine retreat last week, we came to Quito again. We stay in this house. This is the shaman house in Quito.
So he offered us to stay here for free for the last week, and so we took the opportunity to edit some episodes to relax, to celebrate Laura's birthday. She's finishing up some birthday cake, and we're gonna hit the road. We're heading back to the Amazon, and we're super excited for this amazing opportunity. Join us, and we'll show you what we're up to. Yesterday was a very challenging travel day. What we thought would be a 3-hour bus ride turned into multiple hours traveling around the city to find the right terminal, and then a 6-hour bus ride, which was twice as long as we expected because of all the stops. But we made it to Tena, which is a city right on the border of the Amazon here in Ecuador.
We are actually outside of Tena, and we will have an amazing and very exciting 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks, because we're gonna help a family, an Ecuadorian family, in their project. It's an amazing project. For me, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, so they're creating their little eco town here. They have a restaurant, they're building their own houses, they're growing their own crops. They want to be completely independent of the system, which is really beautiful and aligns with what we're interested in. We had a really nice talk yesterday until 1 in the morning, and we're excited to get started today. Going into COVID, they were working more traditional jobs, and the father wanted to be home more, wanted to be on his property and cultivating food, building, which is what he loves to do, using his hands. And the family came together without money to invest. They didn't hire anyone else. They're creating this hostel that allows them the freedom to do what they want rather than working for other people.
But they want to do many things, right? Place where we are staying. I love this place because we have a lot of privacy. We are in the middle of nature and we have all the animals around us, but we don't work in this place. We have different projects in different places.
Yeah, so the people that we're staying with, this family owns a lot of land, so we have projects all around their property. Today we're building a tiny home in the middle of the rainforest. I'm super excited to work on this project. We're gonna head out and show you the way.
Planted cacao and all sort of different fruits. What I really admire is when people, instead of complaining about what they are missing, like they started this project without having money in their pockets.
One thing they were saying yesterday was, we use what we have. Rather than worrying about what they don't have, to have like the perfect plan, it's like, this is what we have, this is the wood we have, these are the resources we have, we're gonna build what we can.
Debajo de la tierra, como la papa, así es el yuca.
the father of this family. He never studied, but he's a carpenter and he has built all these cabins and the restaurant, and also their son helped them with the electricity, and it's just like the family, right?
Yeah, and one thing I think was really cool was that we got to help with a lot of these things, right? So everything from planting to harvesting the crops to building a cabin here,
Cooking,
and getting so much diversity in activities we did. Literally, we would wake up not knowing what projects we were going to work on.
Ya rompió otra. No arriba, no, debajo, abajo, abajo, abajo. No hay. Aquí, en esta parte, acá abajo.
Ah, sí, sí, sí.
Ya.
Okay.
Ahí pues dale, ya. Dale algunos, otro más. Cuidado. Ya, ya, basta nomás. Eso, ves, no toca la tierra, mira. No toca la tierra. Abajito se mantiene. Y ya, bien.
and it's something that could be a bummer for some people that they don't have a structure, like all the schedule of the projects they are gonna develop. Like, I think that it helped us or taught us that life is unexpected and we should just be prepared for whatever whatever happens. Yeah, so that's beautiful too.
I'm working construction today, which is very much against the hyper-capitalist system I was brought up in, which taught me to become an expert at something and to pay other experts to do this type of work, because I'm not an expert at building houses, yet that's what I'm doing. And I think that it makes sense in terms of, if you want to make the most amount of money, you should become an expert at something and sell your services or your products to other people. Though I think there's a real cost to that, because a lot of people become an expert at something and then they stop doing everything else. They just pay other people. And that's how I was brought up. I didn't learn to use my hands. I didn't learn to do a lot of things that I'm doing now, which I actually get a lot of enjoyment out of. So I would just encourage those that are watching this, just because you might be really naturally gifted at something, or you've worked really hard to become good at something, doesn't mean you can't mix it up, you can't do other things. To me, life would be quite boring if all I did was practice law my whole life and not try anything else. So here's to trying new things. We're trying to fish to get our own food for lunch. It's not going so well, but hopefully it gets a little bit better.
Me llenaste a mí de agua. Ya está muerta de la risa. Ahí. We also spend a lot of time with them, like talking with them. They are very nice and very kind, and it was really cool to know more about their culture, to know more about their life. Yeah, I think a lot of people will study abroad wanting to get the experience of another culture, and sometimes they even like exchange with different families, and some experiences are better than others, but this was one where we really got an exchange of cultures. Like, we were here a few weeks, and even just last night, like sitting around for hours laughing about stories from their grandparents and horror stories, and talking about aliens and cultural differences, and like just the most random things, but just laying in hammocks, drinking coffee together, whatever it is. It's an experience that I'll never forget. We just ran out of gas. First time in my life that I ran out of gas. I don't know how many times I repeat this quote by Bob Marley. this week. I remember this interview. A journalist asked Bob Marley, like, if he considered himself a rich man, and I think it's very subjective, or people just assume that a rich man is someone that have a lot of money in their bank account, or they have a lot of property like houses, apartments, cars. And to be honest, I support Bob Marley. I agree with what he said, and I think it's beautiful. His answer was just like, money is not what make me be rich. Wealthiness is, for me, is life. And how many how many people have a lot of money but they don't like really experience real life, like all the beautiful things that make your life worth it, right?
Yeah.
Because we just focus on making money, and that's all. That's everything our life is about, and we forget other beautiful things and experiences that we can have in life that make life like make you happier than just having money.
And a lot of people we've met here might not have a lot of money in their bank account or any money in their bank account, but they have the food that they grow, and they have so much land, and they have things that
Time with their family.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it enables them to live a good life without needing to have a ton of money. That's
Mhm.
not to say that there aren't things that are more difficult without having money.
Yeah.
Like, we've also seen difficulties in paying for things that are necessary in order to run a farm or
Yeah,
whatever
but
it is.
also we have learned to be very like those things help us to be more, maybe more
Resourceful.
resourceful. Yeah, resourceful, and also to appreciate more when you have like everything, right? Because sometimes people have a lot of money and they like the whole life is like having everything, and so you can like you don't value the efforts, and sometimes you don't have like maybe all that you want. You can learn also to appreciate more the things, like to value the cost of every single thing in life.
Y hasta partir a la fruta que vamos a comer. Ya, ahí está.
Like, what it means to be rich or what it means to be wealthy. Like, for a lot of people, it's looking at their bank account and seeing a particular number that appears. But you look at a lot of countries, like whether it's Venezuela is a recent example, where their currency went from a certain value to much less than what it was. And so that number really didn't mean much of anything, right? And that can happen, like in the United States, like people think that, oh, the dynasty of the United States will never collapse. Like, there are dynasties that were much larger than the United States that collapsed. So to think that we're immune from that risk, like, the people here have food, they have shelter, they have things that they've created on their own land that they know they won't have to depend on anyone else. If something happened, if the currency wasn't worth anything, they could survive. I couldn't say that about a lot of people in the United States. If the dollar didn't matter, if it wasn't worth anything, they're in an apartment.
Yeah.
They're leasing a car. What do they actually have that's their own?
So today's project is very excited for me because we're gonna collect cacao. Cacao is one of my favorite fruits, not because of the fruit, but what like we make chocolate with this, and chocolate is like
So these
love for me.
these cacao trees have been planted over 2 years ago. It takes about 2 years for the fruit to start growing, and they live for 70 to 80 years. So if you plant cacao, you have a lifetime of chocolate. As promised, we're going to explain the process of making chocolate from fresh cacao. First, you pick some ripe cacao fruit from the tree. Split it open with a machete and remove the seeds. After removing the cacao seeds, Let them dry in the sun for at least 3 days. Roast the dry seeds on the stove until the seed shells begin to chip. Gently peel the shells off the cacao seeds. Grab a big flat pan and begin tossing the cacao seeds into the air in an attempt to remove the shells from the pan. Place the peeled cacao seeds into a grinder and add whatever flavor you want.
We try sugar, lemongrass, ginger, and plain cacao.
Then put the cacao paste on the stove and add tea from whatever you had mixed with the cacao in the grinder. Bam! You have some fresh chocolate. Enjoy! We're so grateful for this unparalleled opportunity we had with this amazing family. We got such an authentic experience here in Ecuador, and I couldn't imagine leaving Ecuador without having this kind of experience. We learned so much about the culture of Ecuador and also about ourselves. So thank you to this amazing family, and we're excited for whatever comes next.
Yeah, if you want to visit this family or support them, they will be glad to receive you in this hostel or in the restaurant. You can check on Instagram, Kapariurku. We're gonna put the link in the description if you want to visit this beautiful place and have an amazing experience like the same as we did. We finished our 2 weeks of volunteering project here, and
It actually
we're
turned
leaving today.
It turned into closer to 3 weeks because we had such a beautiful time. It's a bittersweet moment. It's hard to leave such an amazing group of people, but we're also excited for what's to come.
And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like our channel.